The transfer window is open, and there is a lot of movement going on. Big talks right now with Christian Eriksen, who looks like he's going to Man United, James. What do you think about that move?
I love Christian Eriksen, and he adds great football IQ and intelligence and creativity, all of which United need in abundance. But he's also 30 years old and still coming back from that horrendous heart ailment of a year and a half ago now. So you do wonder what that means for United and why they're targeting him. I mean, I don't know, Albert. I mean, you've watched this guy at Spurs for a long time. 5 years ago, great signing for United. Right. To me, they should be going for younger players at this point to build on.
Yeah, I mean, he's still an incredibly creative player, as we saw with Brentford. One of the reasons why Brentford stayed up was because of him. But outside of that creativity, he also brings an unbelievable work rate. I mean, when you looked at him when he was in the Premier League, he was always at the top of the list when it came to distance covered. I think at the end of the 2019 season, which was his last season at Spurs, he finished at the top for Spurs. I think it was like 12.2K per game. And now you throw him into that midfield, and funny enough, Bruno Fernandes, you wouldn't think he's that type of player, but he finished 5th in distance covered in the Premier League this season.
That is surprising.
So now you're adding two creative players who have incredible work ethic, and I don't think United will be done in that midfield. I think he adds another dimension, and it also takes a little bit of that pressure off Bruno Fernandes to create everything from the midfield. Right? Now you have Eriksen in there as well, if he goes there.
I wonder, though, if this is the next Juan Mata signing for United, right? Because Mata arrived there and was going to be the solution and played a couple of years semi-regularly and then disappeared, right? I hope it's not the case with Eriksen. He is a great leader, though, great teammate, and there's some young players there, so I see that standpoint. But I'm just thinking United, there's so many holes to fill right now, and he's 30, and this is a veteran who, frankly, should be looking beyond a team like United. And I don't want to criticise United fans there, but a team that's...
you do.
Kind of, I do.
Yeah,
a little bit, yeah. But, a Champions League team. And I know he's saying that that's not important to him now.
Which is surprising.
It is surprising, because he's still got plenty of game. I feel bad for Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford gave him a chance.
He's mentioned he wants to stay in London. Brentford are in London. I mean, Spurs are in talks with him as well. But when it comes to Spurs, he's just not high on the priority list in terms of players they want to sign. They want another centre back, another wing back.
And in fairness, all United's fans live in London.
Okay.
Right, so kind of you'll feel at home there. I'm really upsetting United fans right now, aren't I?
I mean, okay, you brought up Tottenham. They actually backed out of it. Were you excited as a Spurs fan? Like, did you think, seeing him come back, was it...
Yeah, well, the last time apparently that they chatted with him was a couple weeks ago. So they're still monitoring the situation. But yeah, they still have other holes that they want to fill. I would love to have him there. We saw what he did with Conte at Inter Milan. They won a Scudetto with him. And he, at first, wasn't really in with Conte and kind of played his way into the system. And he's exactly what Conte wanted in a midfielder. So he knows how to play that system. If he comes to Spurs, I don't know if he'd be a regular starter, but that's a pretty good player coming off the bench. And you need that squad depth if you want to challenge for the league. Not saying Spurs will do that, but also with Champions League now, you need a deeper squad. And now you're adding a player who knows how Conte works, knows his system. It seems like a perfect fit.
5 subs next year as well in the Premier League.
Which is massive.
It's massive, right? So it becomes tactical. So having that depth of player, like an Eriksen, potentially on the bench, you can now use him in a different way than perhaps you could this past season.
And also they're talking, do you think he would work well with Frankie de Jong? Because Man United are really targeting him. And it seems like if they have the right amount of money, Barca will gladly take the bag over Frankie.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Ten Hag wants to do with that midfield, right? I mean, you have McTominay, Fred, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba for now, who's probably going. So you need to fill that creative void, and Eriksen does fill that. And Ten Hag is probably going to play a 4-3-3, which he's played with Ajax. Eriksen knows that system. It depends what he wants at the moment, Ten Hag. And I think he wants someone creative in the midfield who can work and also play make.
I'm still not sure about Frankie de Jong either coming over. I mean, Barcelona keep signing these deals to bring more money in. Just, basically mortgaging their entire future away, and just to bring money in right now. So
he doesn't want to come to United.
No, he doesn't. It seems that way, right?
He also hasn't been that fantastic with Barcelona. Like I've said it before, he's either 100% there, or if he's playing poorly, he's the worst player on the pitch.
We see these with players sometimes. They just need a change of scenery. For whatever reason, it doesn't work out.
And he's young enough too, right? Yeah. So it's like for him, for the club, for for whoever's involved.
You tell me, what is it with Barcelona though? These players, Dembele, De Jong.
I've never been a Dembele fan.
They haven't worked out.
Take him away. I don't even want anything for it.
100 million he costs.
I know. The whole deal, I was...
The injury situation with Mane Dembele is pretty sad. It's constant.
but I mean, like, that affects him as a player. Like, he's not consistent at all.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about his physicality, his training. Like, if you're getting injured that much, like, how good of a player are you really?
Right, and he's linked with Chelsea now, which is super interesting because he'd be a good fit if he stays healthy. But I mean, that's the thing; he needs to stay healthy.
Well, speaking of Chelsea, big man Raheem Sterling is in cahoots with Chelsea. Sterling and Jesus both at the end of they have a year left in their contract with City. They both look like they're taking off. Sterling to Chelsea and then Jesus to Arsenal. Let's talk about Sterling first. 27. He's still like he's at his prime, I guess you would say right now. Like he still has some years ahead of him. What do you think about him fitting in at Chelsea?
I think wherever he goes, he's going to score goals. He's going to be a great player. He's leaving City because he did fall out with Pep Guardiola the last 12 months or so. A year left in the deal. So you either sell him now or you're losing for free next year, perhaps. There's enough talent coming through there. They signed Haaland. You have Grealish. You have Phil Foden. You're trying to find minutes for these players as well. So I see why he's going. It's disappointing because I thought he was really great for Man City in their title-winning campaigns. But it is modern football, I suppose. And I think if Chelsea sign him, depends what's happening with them, right? I mean, Lukaku's probably going. There's Lewandowski rumours today. Havertz, Ziyech, where they fit in now if in comes Sterling. So Werner, it's a domino, I think, if they sign Sterling. But whoever he gets him, will be very happy because he's a fantastic footballer.
Yeah, I do like that, honestly. I think it's a perfect fit for Chelsea. Sterling already knows how to play that false nine with Manchester City. Chelsea does it as well. Tuchel, Mount, Havertz, and Werner or Pulisic. And I really think he's an upgrade on Werner because his finishing is much better. He can score.
He can finish.
Yeah, exactly. He can finish, and he has the pace as well. And he knows the league well. It's like a ready-made signing, and it's the last year of his contract, which means they'll probably get him on a dirt cheap deal. I think Sterling to Chelsea is great.
He's a London boy too, right?
Yeah.
That's where he's from. So going back home, and he's 27. I remember when he broke through at Liverpool at 16, 17 years of age, and what a player he was.
Yeah.
And then the move at 18 or 19, I think it was now, which upset most Reds fans, and rightly so. But
I was critical of that. I'm like, 50 million for Sterling, really? And look, man.
And he's what, 4 championships?
Yeah, and probably, what?
Four championships?
Would you say at the Euros he was one of England's best players?
Well, without his goals, where would they have been?
Right.
I think it was outstanding for England. Him and Harry Kane are the only guys that score goals for England right now. So he's very important.
Sterling's a big game player. I mean, not many people want to admit that for whatever reason, but he really is.
I think that people just love to hate him. He seems like one of those players that like people always constantly are just hating on him. But when you think about it, like you both said, he's a fantastic footballer. Why do people hate him?
The media went after him from day one because he was a young father. He fit all these stereotypes, which the British media love to jump on, right? I mean, I remember he bought his mum a house, right? And so he should. And the rumor was she had a gold-plated toilet. And so what? Right? But the media found out about this and jumped all over it, ignored all the charitable endeavours that Raheem Sterling's involved in, all the social movements he's involved in. Forget all that. No, he bought his mum a gold-plated toilet, and they jumped on that. So it's a very racist media over there.
And he got the tattoo of the gun on his leg, and they went.
Exactly. He was a target, and
it's almost unavoidable for some of these players, right?
Absolutely.
Sad.
Well, Raheem's teammate Gabriel Jesus linked heavily to Arsenal. I don't know how I feel about this at all, mainly because of the form Arsenal's been in lately, and I think Jesus still has a good run left in him. Like, his next signing is going to be critical. Is he the right man for Arsenal, Albert?
I think he'd be a good fit anywhere in the Premier League. I just don't understand why he would make that move from City to Arsenal. I mean, I think if you're going from City to Arsenal, you're hoping for a payday of some sort. But if you want to still play in the Champions League and you want to still play in the top level of football, you probably should be looking at Spurs, Chelsea, or maybe somewhere abroad. As for is he a good fit at Arsenal, I think so. They need a striker. I mean, I know they just signed Eddie Nketiah to a contract extension, but you're going to need a backup for him. And I think Jesus can be that guy, and he can also play on the wing. So he fits in well. I just think personally, if I'm Jesus, I don't think I'd want to go there and play Europa League.
They were really close to the Champions League last year, right?
They were,
and they're a real young team. Mikel Arteta knows him really well from his time under Pep Guardiola at Man City, so maybe they got on really, really well. But I'm kind of with you as well. I don't really know what he is because he's been never given that run of games. I think he can be really, really good. But you look at City and what's happening there. Haaland comes in. They got the kid from River Plate,
Alvarez,
Alvarez, right? Who's really interesting right now. You know, people are discounting him because of Haaland, but he could be a dominant force there. He could be that Jesus role.
Yeah, I think he will be
so.
too. He's unreal.
It's really, again, another domino, right? But I think from Arsenal's perspective, it's definitely worth a gamble.
Absolutely.
They need goals. Lacazette's left.
Yeah.
And I know they're signing Nketiah. He's still young, still somewhat unproven. So yeah, I think it's a good move for both, I suppose. But I am curious as to what he becomes.
And finally, guys, over the weekend, the Pogmentary was released on Amazon Prime, and Albert actually binge-watched all 4 or 5 episodes. So, what's your takeaway?
What's with
You
Ozark?
enjoyed it?
What's with Ozark?
I don't really watch shows. I don't. But
apparently.
we were talking about Pogmentary. I'm like, let me get this thing a watch. I didn't know what to expect. I went there with zero expectation. I thought it was going to be some fluff piece, but it was actually pretty good. You got to. I like Paul Pogba. I've never been as critical as other people are, Sarah Praria, and.
I won.
And what I got from that is that he is whatever he showed us what they want us to see. But he's a family man. He's got a really tight circle. Hard worker, apparently. Off the pitch, seems like a really good guy. He has a small circle, as I mentioned. But a lot that I got from there is that the last season for Manchester United, he truly believed that United were going to win something, bringing in Ronaldo and bringing in one of his best mates in Raphael Varane. So I found that very interesting, and that's one of the reasons why he stayed. But he also kind of was talking about how he felt disrespected from Manchester United because if they say they want to keep him, they want a player, why aren't they offering more of what he wants? So
they're offering him how much?
Nothing. Zero.
Nothing?
Basically nothing.
Nothing. So they're saying...
According to super agent Mino Raiola, rest in peace, Paul Pogba, they weren't get the offer that he thought he deserved.
See, the rumours out there that they offered him £300,000 a week. Yeah. I mean, who knows the truth, right? And
who knows the truth, exactly.
But, I mean, listen, I don't know. I have to watch the Pogmentary before I judge him. I think he's a great player. We discussed it before, right? But there's a lot of noise around Paul Pogba. Maybe part of that was his agent as well, who is now no longer with us.
Yeah.
So maybe that will change.
He comes across as a little misunderstood. I can see that. But as with most of these types of players, there's that bit of selfishness as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed the documentary. So, but it seems like he's going to be moving on from Manchester.
Yes, Juve is still the hot hand.
Yeah, you'll hear Juve a lot throughout.
Yeah, I heard. I only watched the first 10 minutes actually right before this, and already he has thrown United under the bus.
Totally.
In my opinion, there's no way he can stay with United after this was released.
No.
So we've seen a Ronaldo documentary, right? We've seen a Pogba documentary, Neymar. Who do you want to see as the next big documentary? Be it on Amazon, Netflix, The Parlay.
Oh, that's a good question.
Who's it going to be?
Parlay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like we already know so much about Messi's life. But if one were to come out, I would never stop. But why not Mbappe? Why not him and his?
That might be interesting,
Prince
actually.
of Paris.
I'd rather see that. I think a Messi documentary would be so boring.
Messi?
Well, because
Messi
there's a lot to tell there, though.
Because he's boring, though. I mean, forget the footballer. Obviously, he's the greatest of all time. I mean,
he's
I'll
boring.
say that. He's a boring personality. Football's everything to him, right? But there was that Barcelona documentary a few years ago.
Oh my God, yeah.
He didn't steal many scenes, did he?
No.
Let's put it that way, right? Maybe there's more to it. I don't know.
I can't deal with this.
I just think that Mbappe
he had a hormone
might be more...
issue growing up.
Didn't we all?
Now he has. I can't.
There's definitely a story there, but he's just a quiet guy.
Quiet guy.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
criticizing him. I'm saying from a documentary standpoint.
Well, I think that makes him the player.
Messmentary wouldn't be.
The
Messmentary, yeah.
Who would I want to see? That's such a really interesting
Rooney
question.
had a good one actually recently.
I did watch the Rooney one.
Interesting. Zlatan, boom.
Yes, I love
that. There is
he
one.
probably has.
I think there is
one.
one.
I know. He's like an actor.
There's definitely one out there somewhere, isn't there?
Mario Balotelli.
That would be great.
There you go. Done deal.
Yeah.
Why always me? Mario Balotelli.
Perfect.
Parlay Productions.
Yep. Why always me?